What's going on, guys? Danny here, back again from Undead Evo, and today I'm doing another Leave It to Danny. This time something quite similar, but also not. This is another almost thumbnail video, I suppose, to help with thumbnails. Obviously, the effect last time was to do with blur, and I've heard that many people have been using it in their thumbnails. So I guess this is going to be another video that you can use on thumbnails, I guess. So, there's two ways of doing this. Personally, I like using gradient overlays, but there's another way of doing this. So first off, you want to get your image, obviously 1920 by 180, preferably for better quality, or you could just go for 1280 by 720. Now, you want to have two layers. You can do this by dragging your image into Photoshop and then pressing Ctrl J. This will duplicate the layer down here. Now, I'm just going to rename this so black. And right, similar to the other one, we're going to choose the top one, go up to image adjustments, where is it? Black and white. Black and white. So you have black and white. Oh, I believe you may be able to change it. So obviously you have your black and white here, and yeah, maybe you can tint stuff even, but so you can mess about with what you want to be white. Obviously you can change the yellows on it, so that looks pretty good. You know, change the greens on it as to what you would want it to be, black or white, whatever. So you know, make it more depth. Like I like that a lot more. Brings a lot more detail into it. Saturation, whatever. I don't think you can do that, but yeah, you can tint it as well. Actually, looking at it now, so you can have that. You can choose saturation of it, but for now I'm going to stick with black and white as requested. Now, same as always, go up to your eraser tool. You set it to maybe 108. I'm just going to say that. Hardness to 0. Another thing you can do is window, brush or F5, and you open up this tab. I've got it here. Go to brush tip shape. Make sure it's set to spacing 0, and that just means that when you do it, it isn't all messy and stuff like that. So I'm going to set this down. Actually, make sure it's in brush as well. Might be a good idea. So there you go. That means the edges will be feathered. So yeah, maybe a bit bigger. So I'm gonna start off with this guy. So obviously you see that's black and white, and obviously the layer below is that coloured. So I'm gonna show you a couple ways of doing this. So obviously the first way is getting the eraser tool and then just doing that. But obviously you do get the edges, and obviously I've done it so it's like feathered around the edges. This works quite well with this image just because of the colouring of it. But I recommend, if you are doing this, do it in short bursts, so that way you can Control Z, past that point back. That is one way of doing it. There's also another precise way of doing this by choosing the polygonic lasso tool. That's one way of doing it, and you can literally just zoom right in and go around the edge of everything. Obviously on curves you want to watch out that you don't get the line too sharp, but I'll do a more in-depth tutorial on this at some point. But obviously round corners you want to make sure you put them every little interval as possible, if that makes sense. And then obviously when you finish it off you'll select that and you delete it, but obviously you're going to be selecting the inside all around the gun, all around the person. But personally, if you're in a rush, the best way to do it is just to do this. And obviously one other tip I can give you quite easily now is to zoom right in, and say maybe start off about here and then just work your way towards the edge, rather than just going, oh look, there's the edge there, I'm just going to start there, and then you'd feather off a bit too much of the background. But yeah, depending on the lighting of the image as well, kind of depends on how much you want to erase. So I'm going to quickly do that, and I'll be back to you guys once I've maybe erased this guy out a bit, just show you what it looks like. May just speed it up, so I'm going to do that. Right, quick update now, guys. Just as I'm doing this, I just realised one of the best things to do is hide the layer, the top layer. Oh, sorry, I mean the bottom layer. And this shows you where you have and have not erased. So if you just go around the edges and then come back to it, you can just erase what's in the middle. Obviously this is just a rough job, and then I think I'm going to try out masks, and then I'll give you guys a quick overview of that as well. So once I'll quickly do this, I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm not going to worry too much about that cape there. So there we go. If we zoom out, obviously he's still in colour. You do the same thing there. Now obviously you can see he's got a bit of a blue outer glow. Now that's the only repercussion with doing it with the feather. You may get away with maybe putting the hardness up slightly and then going around the edges again. That's another way to do it. Let's try it out. Yeah, that just brings, I suppose, brings the hardness in tighter. So maybe raise the hardness if you're having a tough time with it, and just get closer to the edges. Maybe that works pretty well. Now looking at it, so yeah, just maybe bring the hardness up slightly. I've put it to 55 and it seems to be working quite well. Obviously you're going to need quite a steady hand for this, or if you have a Wacom tablet that works as well. I have a Wacom tablet but I'm not going to be using it. But yeah, that's one quick way of doing it. Now I'm going to have a play about with masks and then I'll be back after that. So okay, what's going on guys, I'm going to show you another way of doing this, and this is with this masking layer. Simply you click over here. This will set that to black and white. You'll know that it is selected when this goes dark grey, and also it changes. And obviously you can double click and you will see that, but ignore that for now. Obviously change it to a colour you're able to see. So yeah, you get that. It looks like the Japanese flag, I suppose. And then you select your layer. Now what you want to do is make sure you have got your brush tool selected. You can get whatever size brush you need. I'm going to stick with this hardness because it seems to work for me. Obviously, for finer details, you want to lower your brush, especially on high quality images, and then you just want to go in and paint everything red that you would like to keep. So obviously, you know, and watch your edges as well. If you do want to, obviously you can change your spacing down if that is required. You can also, as I said, go down to as low as 2 maybe. 1 might be pushing it slightly, and obviously you can go down to this part where you can see all the pixels and just colour in the parts that you need. Now I say it like that just because this is one of the ways I've learnt to do this. Now once you've done doing that, you click that again and it turns it into a selection. If you want to get rid of this, press Ctrl D, but you wouldn't need to if you want to select it. Now it has currently the outside selected, so to invert it, you can press Control, Shift, and I. Obviously if you're in the Mac, it's Command Shift I believe, and then that puts it there. Now we can just delete that as long as you're on the right layer, and it deletes it. It gives quite a nice edge finish, and from far away you can't see any pixels that you've gone over slightly, unless you majorly go over. For instance, on here I think I went 1 or 2 pixels up and there is a bit of blue around his head, but you can barely notice it from this distance. But thank you guys for watching. If you have any more suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. I am Danny, and thank you guys for watching.